it is chilly this morning, y'all. This weather doesn't know if it wants to be fall or winter. We have officially got to that time of year where I have to add or pad my my alarm with an extra 10 to 15 minutes to let the car have time to, what I want to say, cool down or defrost, I want to say. Oh, I'm thankful that I don't have to be anywhere today. But just running a couple of quick errands, or I thought, but now I got to add an extra 15 minutes. So while I'm sitting here in my car freezing, letting my car defrost, I'm going to go ahead and record this message real quick, right? So, y'all, I was going to say, like, this message is contradictory, but like not really. Like at the end of the day, I don't condone spiritually attacking someone. I do, however, condone spiritually protecting yourself against attacks that other people, do to you. I always condone spiritually protecting yourself, but I don't necessarily, or I don't at all condone spiritually attacking someone. However, I will say I do condone letting someone have it if they deserve it, even if I just mean by way of words, right? So I kept getting this message yesterday where Spirit was like, tell them, talk yo. And I'm trying to keep from cussing because I know some people don't like that. And I don't typically cuss anyways, but like every now and then that's just kind of, excuse me, every now and then that's just kind of how the message comes out. My family is like, half my family is military. My grandfather, who passed away and is now one of my spirit guides, he was military, and he cussed heavily. My dad cusses heavily. So when messages come through, and my dad's still living, so not from my father, but when messages come through, especially from like my male ancestors, paternal ancestors, there tends to be a lot of cussing in it, right? And I can tell more so where the message is coming from based off the songs that are chosen, because more of the maternal come with a more loving, grow, learn, love, lead with love kind of energy. Whereas some of my male ancestors are on that Pastor Troy, Crime Mob, like talk your shit kind of energy. So like I already knew which side this message came from. But like seriously, Spirit is saying, and this is like those like and I told y'all I'm into like the Orishas. These are definitely like those Orishas of war, like those warrior Orishas, right? More of that like to talk your shit energy, right? Because I kept hearing yesterday, this is when I was getting off of work, so I was like really tired anyways, but I kept hearing I'm gonna rip them up to shreds. And I kept thinking, like, where did that come from? Like, I know it came from a song, but what song did that, y'all, it was driving me crazy. I was like, what song did this come from? So when I got home, because I had to wait till I parked so I could actually Google it, I Googled it, and first thing that came up was Crime Mob's Second Look. So I'm from Atlanta. I don't live there anymore. I had to like leave my hometown just to get some peace of mind and to like just kind of get away and take a breather. But like, I don't know how mainstream they got. I know they had like a couple of music videos that made it to like BET, MTV or whatever, but I don't know how mainstream they got, right? But they have this song called Second Look, right? And it's so funny because like the lyrics in the chorus go, what mean looks never had me shook, take a second look. But they go, I read like a comic book, get this understood. And that Spirit was like, stop right there. That's the message, right? So y'all, I'm hearing like energy reader, like you are an energy reader, right? And I'm an energy reader, right? So people will try to play you and they'll try to get one over on you. And it's like a thing with empaths. Like if you're a chosen one, or not even just a chosen one, if you're an empath, people have this thing where they like try to get over on you. But even more so if you're like spiritual, or if you tell someone you're spiritual, or if you tell someone, you know, you can read energies or you can read cards, people have like this thing of wanting to test you, right? And I feel like this happens more so with narcissistic personality types, right? Because that kind of ego gets in the way. That kind of, oh, you don't know the truth, only I really know what's going on. Like, no, sir. But anyways, so I was asking Spirit, like, okay, so like, what are we talking about here? And like, you know, some of this is kind of like Spirit telling me what I want to hear, which doesn't happen very often, but whenever they do, I know I'm in alignment, right? But anyways, so like I said before, I don't condone anyone spiritually attacking anyone. I do, however, condone you spiritually defending yourself. But when someone just keeps trying, and like, let's take the spiritual aspect out of it. Let's just say it's someone who's not even into spirituality, but someone that you're dealing with, and I'm getting this is like a romantic thing, but not even that. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, but like, you're dealing with someone in your life who just keeps lying, and I'm hearing like, trying your patience, right? This person is just trying your patience, and like, deep down, you know the truth, you know what's real, but this person keeps thinking that they're pulling the wool over your eyes. I'm hearing Spirit is like, yo, like, talk your shit, like. But this more so came for like a romantic interest, because I kept getting like the take a second look part. Like, in terms of friends, of family members, that mean looks never had me, should take a second look. This could be someone that you don't have a very favorable relationship with. Maybe someone who feels like you're afraid of them for whatever reason or whatnot. But with the whole take a second look, I was getting more of like, this is a romantic interest who left and is trying to come back. Like, not that energy from the video I posted yesterday or the day before, whatever day I posted my last video. Like, not that person, right? But this came as like a sort of person who I'm getting like, I don't like really want to get in the habit of calling everyone a narcissist, but so like, I'm just going to give an example. I like to give like personal examples, right? Y'all, I had this one guy that I was associates, well, I was about to say friends, but I don't even want to use that term too loosely. I was associates with this person back in high school, right? And throughout the years, he's like come around a few times. Nothing ever stuck. Like, he's asked me out a few times, but we've never actually gone out. I've always felt this weird energy from him, but I never could quite put my finger on it. But I've always felt this weird energy from him, right? So he happened to come back around last year. Now, this is when I'm into, he has not been back around since I've been into my spirituality or focusing on my spiritual growth. So he comes back last year, and he's basically like, oh, like, I see you're still single. Has no one put a ring on it yet? Oh, I've always liked you so much. He was like, I like you so much, it makes me angry. And he was like, I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? This is my first time hearing that. And like, I guess he probably thought it sounded cute. I don't know what reaction he was expecting to get, but right away to me, it sounded like BS, right? So I'm like, okay, I said, I've never heard that before. Why would you liking someone make you angry? Like, elaborate. And he was like, I don't know, I just can't explain it. It just makes me so angry. He was like, because I've always felt like you are my soulmate. And I started laughing, and he was like, well, you know, soulmates can be friends too. I said, yeah, I know. I said, actually, I'm into spirituality. I know that soulmates doesn't always mean romantic. Family members can be soulmates. Friends can be soulmates. Just someone that you have a very, very strong, someone that your soul has a very strong tie to. I understand it doesn't always mean romantic, but I said, you know, now you're trying to backtrack, because this whole conversation started on the basis of you telling me how much you've liked me. So then when you say soulmate and I start giggling, don't try to backtrack now and be like, oh, I meant friends, because that's not the nature of where the conversation has been, you know, during this whole encounter, right? But anyways, So it was just like little things that he would do. And y'all, like, now that I'm into spirituality and I can read energies, y'all, when I tell y'all, he kept popping up in my dreams with like this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of energy, where he would show up in a dream as if he was like this really sweet, caring, showing up with flowers kind of person. But then behind the scenes, he would be like doing like this really kind of he would be just really nasty, like not like physically, but he was like very emotionally abusive, like and when I say, like, y'all, like, if you've ever dated a narcissist or know someone who's dated a narcissist, you know that they like to like, you know, all gas, no brakes. They like to hurry up. Like, you can meet someone and next thing you know, they're like, oh, we should move in together, or oh, we should, you know, I want you to, you know, meet the family, or oh, we should do that. Like, they like to move very quickly. And, you know, they do that because they know that, you know, they can't hide. They can only put on a facade for so long before their true nature comes out. That's why you'll hear people like, well, how did you not know that? Or how did you not know that person was like that? Because they put on a facade. And most people who are in relationships with narcissists, they'll tell you, like, in the very beginning, this person was the kindest, sweetest, most caring person that I've ever met in my life. Like, that's the whole facade, right? But anyways, like, he was just coming off as like this real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde energy. And he started showing up in my dreams like that. At first, it was in the dreams. But then even in like awakened state or in the 3D, I started picking up on little things. Like, he would say something, and then let's say he would say something else a little while later. So then I would be like, well, oh, I thought you said, he'd be like, oh. Well, you know, I said that, but what I meant was this, because he was like the type where, and I don't know if he like gets caught up in talking, because I'm a talker. And he started off by saying like, one of the things I like about you is that you really know how to communicate. He was like, I can't stand females that when you ask them a question, they respond in 1 or 2 word answers. And I was like, well, that to me sounds like gray rocking. Because I even told him, I said, you are coming across like such a sweetheart. I said, I'm not going to find out 6 months from now that you're a narcissist, am I? And he just started laughing. He was like, well, if I was, I wouldn't know it. I was like, actually, contrary to popular belief, if you were, you would know it. But anyways, because you would know that you weren't capable of feeling, you know, you might not necessarily know in depth what it was, but you would know that there's something off about yourself. Like, you know, right? But anyways, so I told him, I was like, you know, if I would say like, oh, well, you said this before, or I'm sorry, he started off by saying like, he likes females who know how to verbally express themselves. And I was like, okay, great. I said, I'm a big talker, because I said a lot of people nowadays, like, we've gotten so bad into texting, people don't even pick up the phone anymore. Well, even when we're like talking and trying to get to know each other, he really wasn't picking up the phone a lot. It was a lot of text messaging. So I told him, I was like, hey, like, me and my best friend, we use this app because, you know, both of us are so busy and we have these schedules. And, you know, she's married and, you know, she has other commitments and stuff she has going on. So we don't have a whole lot of time to just sit down and be on the phone. So I said, we use this app so that way we can talk using the app. So like, she'll record a message, I'll respond, I'll record a message, she'll respond. And we literally have like, I think we downloaded this app back in 2021. So we literally have had like this 2 year going on 3 year, this never ending conversation, because one of us posts at least once, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day if, you know, we have time, but at least once a day we both post. So it's like we're always listening and responding, right? So I said, we literally have been having this never ending conversation. But anyways, I was like, hey, do you have this app? And he was like, no, but I'll download it. So I was like, okay, great. So he downloads the app, he sets it up or whatever, and we start using that. So I'm using the app, but I'm noticing like even in the app, he's like really short. Like, I can probably count on my hands how many times he recorded a message. Even if I recorded a message, he would respond with texts. And I was just like, okay, I said, this is like weird, because for someone who says they value communication, you're not a big talker. You're not a big communicator. Like, he would ask a lot of questions about me and he would want details about me, but he would be very vague about himself, which is like, red flag, right? Like, okay, we don't want to talk too deep about you. Like, I remember I was asking him once, like, so this was, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm all over the place, right? This was like the second or third red flag. Y'all, I'm sorry. I knew this relationship wasn't going anywhere. I'm sorry. I knew this acquaintance wasn't going anywhere. I was testing the waters to see how far he would take it, right? And I guess ultimately he could only take it as far as I allow him to take it. But like on a serious note, I was testing the waters to see how far he was planning on taking this. But we were talking about like previous relationships, and I even told him like the guy that I dated previously had some strong narcissistic traits. I said, as a matter of fact, that guy was the one who kind of drove me into spirituality after I got out of that situationship, right? So we talked about that, and he, asked several questions, wanting to know more information, specifics, when we broke up, this and that, the length of time, all this and that. So I was like, okay, if he's asking those kind of questions, maybe he is interested, right? So then I asked him, I was like, well, what happened in your past relationship? And he kind of explained, and I told him, I said, I'm not like, trying to get like in your business or anything, but since we're openly having this discussion, I said, I don't want to put anything that he said out there. But I said, based off what you're telling me, I said, you have to remember, like, this information is because I don't want you to be upset with anything that I'm saying. I don't want you to think that I'm taking sides, because I'm not here to take sides. I said, but you're the one telling the story. Like, if I was getting it from her, then I could see. But you're the one telling me the story. And even with you telling me the story, you still come out wrong. And I said, not that you're wrong, so don't take it, as me, saying like you're a bad guy. But I said, all the signs were there. I said, she told you up front what it is, what it was, and what it ain't gonna be. And you went into the relationship wanting another agenda. You went into the relationship wanting something that she didn't want. And you guys had this conversation up front. And you told her what you wanted. She said she didn't want that. You yourself said that in the beginning she wasn't interested, but that you really liked her. Probably, I don't know. I didn't ask him this, but in my mind, I'm getting heavy aesthetics. Like, it was probably a physical attraction, because as we're older and we're looking for certain things out of a relationship, if the person that that you sought after did not want what you want, why would you even further waste your time? Like, there had to have been something about her that strongly drew you in. So either it was money and resources, or it was physical appearance. But either way, she told you she did not want what you wanted. You yourself stated that she was like, well, maybe this won't work, but you wanted to pursue it anyways. So you told her, fine, I'll settle for what you want. And she gave it a chance. But even after that, you admitted yourself that over time, I thought that it would change. Over time, I thought that she would change her mind. Sir, she told you from the beginning what she wanted. You didn't listen, or you listened, but you went into the relationship with the intent of changing her, and you played yourself. And he was like, oh, well, he said something that came across so catty. He was like, oh, well, thanks, I guess. I mean, I didn't need your advice, but thanks, I guess. And y'all, he wrote it in text. So he might have not said it like that, but like, that's the energy of how it came across. So I responded to him, and I told him, I said, I see you as a very intelligent person. I said, if I felt like you and I weren't on some kind of level of compatibility, I wouldn't even be wasting my time having conversations with you, especially personal conversations about myself. I said, being that I see you as an intelligent man, I never thought for a second that you needed my advice. I thought we were just friends having a conversation. And I said, but seeing as how that's not the case, I'll just end this conversation here. I hope you have a good day. So I didn't respond to him for the rest of that day. Matter of fact, I didn't talk to him for about 2 or 3 days before he came back and was like, oh, well, how's everything? I hope it didn't come across like this, because I didn't mean for it to sound. I'm like, yeah, you did. Like, sir, like, we're not playing those games, right? But it was just like, it was several things. So as time goes by, I just ended up asking him, and I was like, I said, the way that you responded, I said, it kind of felt like there's still some emotion there, right? I said, you asked me, was I in a relationship? And I told you no, because I'm going through a healing period. I said, there's no, I said, I'm not saying like I'm going through healing because this relationship didn't work and this guy damaged me so much I have to heal. I said, I realized within myself that there's a pattern here, and I don't seem to know when to walk away, even when red flags are being shown to me, even when they are being waved in my face. I still have this habit of being like, but, this person has the ability to be, well, it's not about what they have the ability to be. It's about what they're showing up as, right? And I have this habit of wanting to always see the best, even when their worst is what they're presenting. So I said, I'm going through a healing stage for myself. This has nothing to do with my ex. This is for myself. I said, me and my ex, at that point, we had been officially over for over a year at that point. It was over a year at that point. Yeah. So I told him, I said, I'm doing this for me. I said, there's no time limit. There's no time frame. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm going to wait a year. I'm going to be single for a year. I'm doing this for me. And I'll step back out there when I'm ready. Even as I'm going through my healing stage, if the right person comes along, first of all, if the right person comes along, I can still heal with you in my life. If the right person comes along, you will make my healing process more effective, right? But I said, it's not about waiting a certain amount. I'm not putting a time frame on myself. I'm going to heal however long that takes. And if the right person comes along, I'll know it, because they'll be receptive, of my healing process, and they'll be patient and they'll be willing to work with me. Right. But I asked him, I said, it seems to me like you're still emotional about what happened. I said, so how long has it been since you and this person broke up? And he was basically like, at that point we had been like conversing or for several months. So he was like, oh, I can't remember the exact time of when we had this conversation, but let's just say we had been conversing for like 6 months. He was like, oh, we broke up 7 months ago. So I was like, so I had to go back and I was like, well, when did y'all break up? And he was like, oh, we broke up this day, or we broke up this month. So I went back and, got to scrolling, and I said, I didn't say this to him, but in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm hearing it's giving trauma, right? Because I'm like, okay, you broke up with this person and in less than a month, So you hit me up within the same month that you and this person broke up. So either A, you are a narcissist, because narcissists tend to do that kind of thing where they jump from one they're constantly looking for a what do they call it? Like a fuel supply. So they jump from one thing to the next. So either you are a narcissist, or you are codependent and you can't be alone, or you are trying to jump into something quickly to make your ex jealous, to be like, haha, look at how quickly I moved on while you're still sitting over there single. I said, either way, it's giving unhealed. So I'm like, so, how much time, are you giving yourself, or, are you giving yourself to heal? And he responded by saying, oh, I'm already healed. He was like, I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I'm already healed. So I was like, okay. I said, I'm not saying that that's not true, but, because first of all, you could have gone into just because a relationship doesn't work doesn't mean that you're the damaged one. You could have gone into a relationship healed. But seeing as how you went into a relationship with one and tried to change everything about that person shows me that you're not healed. And the fact that, like, because he kept saying, like, oh, what I was upset about was like the fact that how she ended the relationship. He was like, we moved in together, we were living together, and she just kicked me out, and she didn't explain, she didn't say what I did wrong. She, I wanted to know what I could fix. I said, well, first of all, in my head, I'm thinking, sir, you were trying to change her. That's what went wrong. But he was like, yeah, this and that. And And she just told me to get out with no explanation. And in my mind, I'm thinking, no, there were probably things said. You probably just weren't listening because you're too busy on your own agenda. And that's what it's giving. You were too busy focused on your own agenda that you weren't listening to what this person was trying to tell you. But I could be wrong because, I wasn't there. But it several things were just like screaming red flag, because he made this big deal about, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. We believe in the Bible. Like, people will say like, oh, Hebrew Israelites, this and that. They make all kind of, like they're, prejudice or make prejudgments about us. But he was like, we actually live by the Bible. He said, that's why this religion is so strict, because we don't sin like other religions. We live by the Bible. Okay. First things first. You were living with another woman that you weren't married with, and you guys were shacking up. Where in the Bible does it tell, what book in the Bible does it tell you that that's what you're supposed to do? And I said, and another thing, you keep talking about how traditional you are. I'm a traditional man. It's hard for me to date because too many of these women are liberal. Too many of these women, don't want to do their wifely duties. They don't want to be nurturers. They don't want to, be at home and tend to the children and tend to their husbands. So I'm like, okay. So I have no issue with that. Like I said, to each his own. I know women who are like, I love my career. I love working. Having a career gives them a sense of fulfillment, and they love working and earning their own money. I also know women who are like, hey, I want to be a full-time stay-at-home wife. I want to tend to my husband and child. I also know women that are like, hey, I would love to be a stay-at-home wife and tend to my husband and our children, but I also want to have something I also want to have a safety net, not just for myself, but for my kids. And because you never know, what if hubby gets into an accident one day, knock on wood, not that I'm praying for that to happen to anyone, but what if hubby gets into an accident? If I've been out the workforce for all these years, I'm no longer marketable, right? And, for me, it's kind of the latter. Like, I have my schedule worked out to where I only work on weekends because I love being home. I love tending to my home. I'm the type, when I'm in a relationship, I'm very much a nurturer. So I'm more of number 3. I don't mind cutting down to part-time, if that's what works out better for our family. And with the price of daycare and stuff nowadays, I think it would sure enough be in our best benefit for someone to be at home more instead of paying rent worth of daycare bills. But I digress, right? He was talking about, he's a traditional man and he's gone on dates with women, but they're not traditional enough for him. He wants a traditional woman, and he knows me. Like I said, we've been friends. We've known each other since high school, and we've, been acquaintances and got to know each other over the years. So he knows I'm more of like a homemaker type. He knows I love to be at home. He knows I'm a homebody. He's a homebody. So he was kind of like leaning into that a little bit, but he was like, I want a traditional woman. I want the type of woman who does not feel like she's missing out on life being at home taking care of her family. And so I got to thinking, and then I'm like, okay, and this is in the beginning when we were talking about, dating and all this stuff. This is in the beginning. So then later on, when I'm asking him, did he heal from the relationship? When he told me that she threw him out of nowhere and left him in a position where he had to start all over. He said, yeah, I had to live with a friend for like a month. So I'm like, wait a minute. So that whole first month that we were talking, you were sleeping on your, needless to say, he didn't mention none of this. I said the whole first month we were talking, you were living on your friend's couch. Okay, all right. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. But where in the Bible does it tell the traditional man to find his wife and move into her house? Like, y'all, I'm sorry. That came across so judgmental. Let me step back a minute. Y'all, but I'm sorry. My point is, because let me get off of this, because I don't want this whole thing to be about me. My point is that he was very contradictory. He was very contradictory, right? So I forgot what the ending straw for me. Y'all, I'm sorry. My whole goal, and it's sad. it's sad because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it was very low vibrational of me. I knew I had no intention of entering into a relationship with this person, with all these red flags, and there were more, but I don't want to make this whole thing about me. But y'all, my whole goal was just to sit back and see how far he was going to take it, because I told him I'm into spirituality. I work with crystals, moon cycles, tarot cards, all this stuff. And I told him I'm a very vivid dreamer. A lot of things come to me in my dreams. I get a lot of information from my dreams. And even with him knowing this, I guess he kind of felt like, I don't know if he felt like I was lying, or, he's not into spirituality, so he feels like all of that is a bunch of like hoopla anyways. So like, I get that he wasn't like buying into it, I want to say. But y'all, so many, first of all, so many red flags in the 3D, but energetically, so many red flags, because there were all sorts of things that like, he didn't even have to tell me. I already knew. There were all sorts of things that I'm like, you don't even have to tell me. There's nothing that can convince me that he wasn't jumping in my inbox just because he wanted to try to make his ex jealous. That's what I think was his whole plan. Because I kind of like pushed back, and I told him, I said, hey, well, we can be friends. Because he asked me out on a date, and I was like, well, wait a minute. I said, I told you I'm going through healing. I'm not looking to date right now. He was like, oh, no, just as friends, to hang out, to catch up and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, next time I'm in town, I'll let you know. Yeah, I most definitely did not. But anyways, like, so once I told him, like, hey, can we kind of like step back a little bit and just kind of catch up as friends? I said, because I'm starting to see that although we've known of each other, we really don't know each other the way that we thought that we did. And I said, there are still a lot of things that I feel like I'm just now getting to know about you, right? So we stepped back. So I ended up asking him, I was like, I said, I know how it can be when time goes by and you feel like you deserve answers that you don't. And that's, I think, when some people are like, oh, just cut the cord and let it go. Sometimes you have to be okay with not getting the answer. Sometimes you have to be okay with not knowing. I don't think you understand that for some people, that will literally drive them crazy, because some people are like, I just have to know, right? But sometimes you just don't get to know. So I asked him, I said, the thing that upset you the most was the fact of her leaving, according to you, without telling you why or what was the final straw. I said, maybe if you give it some time, a couple of months or so, give her time to calm down. Maybe you can just reach out and ask her, hey, can you let me know, what it is that I did, or what I can do, not necessarily for us to get back together, but what I can do to make me, I said, there's a certain way that you can kind of not finesse it, but that you can word it so that you get the answers that you want without making it seem like this is another desperate plea to get her back. And he was like, well, I did reach out to her. He said, I waited a couple of months and I reached out to her, and she responded by blocking my phone number, blocking me on Facebook, what did he say? Yeah, blocking my phone number and blocking me on Facebook. And I said, okay. I said, well, the only way that you would know that she did all that is that you actually would have had to reached out to her like multiple times, right? Like if I call you and you don't answer, the only way I would know that you blocked me was I would have had to have called again, right? Or if I tried to reach out to you on Facebook, the only way I would know that you blocked me is that I would have had to have tried to reach out again. So meaning you tried multiple times, right? Even after not getting a response, you continued to try. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you said you were over it. You said you were healed. And in the midst of us getting to know one another, you were still reaching out to her. After you told me that you were healed and you were done with it, you're still reaching out. So y'all, when I tell y'all, I quietly made my exit, and I know I was wrong for this because I blocked him. He has no way. I unfriended him on my one little lonely Facebook account that's dusty anyways, because I don't even use it. And I think I only have like 200 friends from high school on there anyways. Y'all, I blocked him. Okay, y'all might hear a little bit of moving in the background now because I realized my car has been defrosted for probably about half an hour now and I'm still sitting here talking, right? But anyways, y'all, like, And this was my final test. This, and I'm a little bit mad at myself, but at the same time, Spirit was like, girl, quit playing. Like, quit playing with this man. Quit playing these games. Spirit had been told me to walk away. Spirit was like, basically, like, y'all know, like someone just sitting there listening to you tell your side of the story with their hand on their chin while they're twiddling their thumbs on the table. Spirit was basically like, I don't know what you were doing or what you were wanting to see, but all you were doing were getting signs and clarification of what you already knew. So what were you expecting? Y'all, I don't know what I was expecting, but part of me is a little disappointed that I didn't play it out a little bit longer, because I just wanted to see how far this person was gonna take it, because that was like my final straw. Because y'all, when I tell you, like, this person was just trying so hard to just tell me what he thought I wanted to hear, because I even told him I wasn't that big on social media, right? And I told him that I don't really use it like that. And he was like, oh, well, I'm the same way. And I know he's lying, because he works in fucking IT. So I know he was lying. I know he's big on social media and gadgets and apps and all this stuff, because that's what you do. Like, But anyways, like, y'all, so he was like, oh, I don't use it neither. I don't like women who are all into social media. It's not real and all this stuff, blase. So I was like, okay. I said, let me test this. This gonna be. I said, matter of fact, I'm not even gonna truly dismiss this person. I'm just gonna sit back and watch if he dismisses himself. So what I did was I blocked him on Facebook. I unfriended him and I blocked him on Facebook, right? And y'all know, since Facebook and Messenger are actually two separate apps, you also have to go and block. Like, if you unfriend someone or block someone on Facebook, you can still reach out to them on Messenger. You can still reach out there. You have to block them on both, right? Separately. But anyways, so like Messenger is still open. What's it called? Or did I block him on Messenger? Anyways, the app that we were using is still open. His phone number was never blocked. I only blocked him and unfriended him on Facebook. So, and the crazy thing about it is, like, we were just having a conversation the day before. And I woke up the next day after I had this very alarming dream about him. I was like, you know what? Like, enough is enough. So I woke up and I was like, I'm going to test this out and see. So I blocked him I unfriended him first, and then I blocked him on Facebook. Y'all, I have not heard from him since. And it's crazy, because I'm like, we were just talking, having a full-length conversation the day before. So in order for you to even have known that, to have known that I blocked you on Facebook, is you would have had to have got straight on Facebook the next day. And you would have had to have either been trying to go, like, you would have had to have been trying to go to my page. Because even if you use Facebook, let's say you just get on there and you talk to other friends or you post and stuff, you wouldn't have noticed that I unfriended you and blocked you unless you specifically got on there trying to go to my page, right? And then not only that, I'm like, you still could have reached out to me via the app. You could have reached out to me via phone, and you didn't. You got on there, you saw that I blocked you on Facebook, and you called it quits, which in certain aspects, like, I understand, because you probably were like, look, I'm not about to play these games. Like, a whole grown man would have been like, I'm not trying to play these games. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on. But if it was only on social media, then really, I mean, it's just social media. Social media is not a big deal, right? I mean, according to you, right? It's not that big of a deal, which is really not that big of a deal. But I just wanted to see, because I had a feeling that he was lying. Matter of fact, I didn't have a feeling. I knew, because we had mutual friends from high school, and he just so happened, one of my mutual friends posted like this meme that I commented on, and he just so happened to, like, when we were talking one day, make like a reference to like the comment that I put on the friend's page. And I was like, okay, I said, you and this friend are friends on Facebook, but they're not really friends in real life. So I'm like, how in the world? Like, because I had a dream that he was stalking me. He was stalking me on social media, which, you know, if you're stalking my Facebook, you ain't gonna find nothing, because I literally don't post nothing on there. But I had this dream that he was stalking me on social media. So then, like, when he made the comment about where he made the reference about the comment that I posted, it was kind of like solidifying that. So then when I blocked him on Facebook only, and I have yet to hear from him again to this day, and you're so stupid, because I'm like, if that's you that's calling me from a blocked number, then sir, you would realize that your phone number still works. So you work in IT, but you ain't too bright. But anyways, needless to say, y'all, it was just so many little things. But, you know, I gotta tell y'all, I don't know what outcome I was hoping for. I guess in the back of my mind, I thought I was gonna have this big ta-da, you know, Scooby-Doo caught you in the trap, you know, the killer, not the killer, because they never kill anyone, or the villain is, and rip off the mask. Like, I really, y'all, Matter of fact, this whole thing is supposed to be about the song. But y'all, I really felt like I was going to have this rip off the mask moment, right? But anyways, back to the original message, because I've been talking about nothing but myself here, and I don't want to do that. But back to the original message, that's what the song was about. Matter of fact, there's one part in the song where she's like something about a rape, but I'm not like cutting no one, but she said something about leave you two-faced when I'm finished, but I'm hearing like rip off the mask. And I could have sworn there was somewhere in the song where he says something along the lines of that, but I've been talking so long, and now I'm driving, so I don't even have like the song anywhere near me. But y'all, like, I Spirit, I said, look, I said his number is not blocked, and he can still, you know, contact me during through the app. If he's gonna come back, let him do it before this year is out. And I'm not even doing this maliciously, but I said if he comes back on that same BS, I'm about to have my Scooby-Doo rip off the mask moment. Like, if he comes back genuinely with an apology, I'm still gonna leave it where it is, because I'm not taking none of that foolishness into 2024. But if he comes back on that same BS, like if y'all have ever dated a narcissist, even when they're gone, or when you guys have not spoken for a long time, they'll come back and still try some way to make it seem like everything was your fault somehow, some way. And I guess in this instance, since I ghosted him, you could very well say it was. But we're not going to sit here, like, you gonna have to be honest about like whatever it was you were trying to do. I never actually even sat down and told him how I was feeling, and how what he was doing really didn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. I just kind of up and left, because, you know, I'm just like, I'm in my healing period, and I really don't have time for this. But y'all, like, I'm hearing Spirit basically told me, right? And if this resonates for anybody else, right, then you and I are on the same page at this particular moment. But y'all, Spirit told me, like, if this person comes back, go ahead and talk your shit. Go ahead and talk your shit. Let them know, because, like, you know, and it's like, you know, what did they say? Like, bringing karma, right? Like, I'm not necessarily trying to bring him any karma, but what I really want to do is just to let you know, ever so slightly, minus the slightly, that like the games that you're playing are obvious, and they're pretty blatant in your face. I don't know your ex. I don't know the first thing about her, but if she up and just disappeared with no explanation, no nothing, which if y'all lived together, I highly doubt that. I mean, if she woke up one day and was just like, hey, you gotta get out, like, right now, there had to have been something that was leading up to that. There had to have been, right? Whether you want to acknowledge it or not. But y'all, I said I'm gonna have my Scooby-Doo revealing the villain moment if this person attempts to come back, because I'm not going for it. But if I don't hear from them before this year is out, then in 2024 I'm leaving it in the past. But anyways, like, Spirit was basically like, you know, ooh, I need some more. I think I have some more at home. Spirit was basically like, you know, be the bigger person, take the high road. You know, don't be out here trying to put spell work on these people like they do you. But at the same time, like, don't let nobody play in your face. Spirit is like, don't let nobody play in your face. You know, walking away is the best answer, and it's what I recommend. But if this person just won't stop and they keep at it, you know, my spirit team is already on top of it anyways. You know, I'm not trying to bring nobody no harm, because he didn't physically do anything to emotionally or physically harm me, because I could, you know, I was picking up what he was putting down from the beginning anyways. But for those that have harmed me in my past, like, spirit has been handling that, and I'm telling you, like, your spirit team is gonna handle it. But this one right here is giving heavy, like that mask needs to come off. Like, it needs to come off. So spirit is saying, yo babes, talk yo shit. Anyways, this has been too long, so I'm getting ready to go so I can go ahead and get these errands done and be back in my cozy home before it hits 10 o'clock this morning. Y'all, thank you for listening to me ramble about my past and something that I've been through. But, like, seriously, like, that whole message was geared around, for me, this particular person. But the real message was actually supposed to be like, go ahead and talk your shit. Like, say, get it off your chest. Say what you need to say. Like, don't hold it in. If it's gonna cause you agony, and if holding it in is gonna cause you, like, let's say you can't let it go, you keep thinking about it, you're like, oh, I shoulda did this, if getting it off your chest is gonna help you heal, then talk your shit. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to necessarily try to tear someone down, but just let that person know the truth. Let that person know the truth. You know, if it's going to help you. Some people can just up and walk away scot-free and not care. Some people, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. The fact that I walked away without saying anything drove him crazy, because he started showing up in my dream like a freaking lunatic after I did that. Because basically, supposedly, that's the same thing that his ex did, was walk away with no explanation. And I saw firsthand how that drove him crazy. So if I really want to, quote unquote, get the best of somebody, me walking away with no explanation really was the best way to do that. But because part of my healing process is learning when to speak up, right? If he ever come back, yo, I'm talking my shit. And I didn't even realize, like, this is how I know, like, when spirit does things and, like, this message is meant for like a very specific person, right? Because I didn't even realize the song came into my head out of nowhere. And as I'm listening to it, I think it's Diamond's verse that was really sticking out the most to me. But when she's talking about, like, leave you two-faced, like revealing your two faces or whatever. But at the end of her verse, I hadn't listened to this song in so long that I didn't even remember. But at the end of her verse, she says, captains and lieutenants and the soldiers won't replenish. And this person is actually in the military. Like, this person that I'm talking about is in the military. So that's what's so crazy about it. But y'all, that is most definitely going to be where I end this today. That is the message for today. Your spirit said, talk yo shit. Anyways, it's cold outside. I finished running my errands because this video is kind of, I try to edit it so where you can't hear all the choppiness, but I went ahead and ran a couple of errands, and then I just pulled in back home. So I'm getting ready to cut this here, go inside and chill and relax for the rest of my day. I'm about to relax today because this cold energy has me just wanting to lay in the house and snuggle, right? But y'all, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. It is December. This year is definitely at the end, right? So y'all make sure you do something special for the new moon. I can't even remember what day the new moon is on. I need to go look and make sure I don't miss it. I know the full moon is on the 26th. Winter solstice is on the 21st. So make sure y'all do something special for those days, because we are definitely wrapping up 2023. But y'all, have a great day. Thank you for listening. Bye.
You is not fooling me. Who the hell are you supposed to be? With them shades on. I know you's a fake, homes. Keep on looking at me and get your motherfucking face.
See you a